Hey, y'all. This is Dr. Traci Harrell, and you are watching Better Together and Living Powerfully. And I am so excited today. I decided to kind of pause a little bit. You know, when you think about this concept of better together, it really brings to mind just a little reminder that you're never alone. You're really never alone. And so when we say it's better together, it's better to do whatever you believe your purpose is in life. It's better when we do that work together. So I am here for you. And so if nothing else, if you're like, I don't know anybody else who's really focused on my effort, your work, to show up in your full excellence, to show up in your divine purpose, know that I am here for you. We are here for each other. And you can't be afraid to show up, whatever that means. Show up for yourself each and every day. You said this before, right? This concept of better together and living powerfully, it's a lot more simple than most people think. I'm pretty bold. So I'm actually putting my own personal journey out there on the streets, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So in addition to saying, I know how to help you, like I've helped many people, coaches and people who this is what they do, have said, Traci, you've changed my life. I think of you every day. I think about how my life used to be, and I think about how it is now, how I've removed these limiting beliefs, how I've decided, I agree that I should be basically taking life by the horns, right? Stepping all in. That's really what living powerfully is all about. And I know, I've spoken to so many people who said there's no one in my life that would tell me that I could do anything I want. This concept to many people, it's actually foreign to some people. For me, it's actually how I was raised. Thank God. Thank God. Right? There's that scientific side of me who's always really, I've read over 1,000 books and I read nonfiction books. That's not a lot. But for me, I stopped counting at that number because I was like, okay, you're good. I think, there's a little overachiever in me. But they're all nonfiction books about excelling, about life, about showing up, about how the brain works, right? About positive energy, about divine connections. Like that's the stuff that truly fascinated me growing up and throughout my adulthood, right? Some of my favorite books is like Cybernetics. There used to be a commercial when I was in high school. I was a bit of a nerd. I love reading. I love learning. And there was this whole commercial around a book called Cybernetics. I'm going to bring it in one day and kind of read through some of the highlights. But that book it basically said, you can have the life of your dreams. And it's true. And you won't believe what the first few chapters are focused on. Self-love, believing in yourself. And honestly, anyone who knows me and has known me for years, I'm kind of the same creature who showed up, right? Right? From a little girl through elementary school, junior high school, I've always been pretty authentic. I'm different, right? I've never tried to fit into the molds. I never even liked playing with baby dolls when I was little. It's like, what is the fun in changing a diaper? I'm sorry, is this supposed to be fun? No, I never thought I would fall into that process. And I have to be honest, there's a couple of things that change who I am. So I'm going to give you a 5-minute story. Stop! Just stop! Stop hitting him! Stop. Like, I used to have a nightmare. And that's what I remember. I was a young girl when remember Rodney King? Remember that? I was traumatized by that experience. I'm watching it going, is this really happening right now? Really? Is this really happening? So when I think about who I am today, some of the traumas that I experienced growing up affect who I am today. So one of my core values is justice. That just wasn't right. It was one of the things that made me think, oh my God, if this is the world I live in, I don't ever want to have children. Especially when I saw him showing up minutes, hours later after, riots and things are on fire. That too is traumatic for a young person. But I'm watching this all and I'm thinking, really? And then he says, can't we all just get along? It's like, what? Oh my God, did this just happen? I still have nightmares with me saying, stop, just stop. And think about that. I think about the other pivotal time in my life, right? Because I was helping someone else with some things related to equity. And so this came up. But I was thinking about Trayvon Martin. I was born in Orlando, Florida, which is really close to Sanford, Florida, where my best friend lives, Sean. Hey, Sean. And that's where the whole shenanigans with Trayvon Martin occurred. The murder, the stand your ground murder happened. And if you're in Florida, which is where I was born, and his mother, oh my God, the queen, showed up very consistently. She didn't say, can't we all just get along? But it was, she definitely showed up with grace and elegance, saying we are not going to be burning stuff down here. We're not going to destroy our community, regardless of what happens. And so when the mother shows up with that level of energy, it's like, oh, okay. So we all know how to behave. We all know what success looks like. But for me, part of my purpose in life is to help to ensure that things that have happened in the past, these injustices, right? And I have to be honest, when the injustices occurred, I'm like, oh my God, how do I not have that happen to me? How do I not have that happen to anyone that I know or love? How do we prevent this from ever happening to anyone else? Well, I have to be perfectly honest. I don't intentionally talk about politics. I don't intentionally get too involved because I will be too involved, right? All I can do is like try to get a little bit of a distance. I'm just being honest and say, okay, perhaps if we stay away from those situations, is it safer in the corporate space? Sometimes. I came up with this new term. I call it a corporate chokehold. That was before George Floyd. It was this concept of, I thought it was safer if I stay away from the hood style living, just being honest, and I grew up in the hood, so it's okay. Stay away from that, stay away from police as much as I possibly can, put myself in a position where I never have to deal with that kind of stuff. Maybe I can find justice in this different space. Because they told me, you go get a job, you go to college, you work for these corporate spaces, and then voila, magic, like magic, right? You don't have to deal with the shenanigans. Well, that's not true. Of course, that's not true, but that's what I thought growing up. Then what I can tell you, what's changed who I am, what changed how I show up in community, is I realized that even as I was working every job I had that was in a corporate space, I always gave back in community. I have decades of endless giving back in community, sharing what I learned with business owners, leaders in community, because I felt like that's what I was meant to do. So when I think about the injustices, stop, right? I still have nightmares, honestly, occasionally. Stop. Stop the injustices. My niece now went into the corporate space. She had an injustice occur in her space. And the challenge is there aren't a whole lot of, I'll say, protocols in place that would prevent those corporate chokeholds, term that I use, from occurring. When there's a misallocation of justice, when there's what people call unconscious bias, when the outcomes don't land well for people who look like me consistently, right? There's a there's a quest to want to create a space so that there's at least some clarity around how things could be different. I'm not dated at all. When I say I am so grateful. Everything that has happened to me in my life has happened exactly the way it was supposed to. All the shenanigans, all the things. I'm like, thank you, Lord. Yes, thank you for all the things, right? Because that's created some empathy. It's created some clarity. It's also helped to amplify like why I do what I do. So part of it is helping you as an individual, but someone else asked me, well, what's the end game for 2024? So I thought I'd circle back and start with the end in mind. Part of my end game is helping people to realize that we really, truly can create an inclusive culture where everyone can thrive. I don't want inclusion for Black people. I want inclusion for all people. I want an introvert on a team of extroverts to feel like, hey, my voice matters. I want a male on a team of females who's like, hey, I can show up, and this is how we make sure that happens, right? So what I can help people to do, if you're a leader, if you're part of an organization that says this is important to you, then just understand there are actual methodologies and not the stuff we've been doing for decades, because you can look at all the research. It would say that 90% of leaders in the corporate space would say that their diversity, equity, inclusion efforts are not effective or less than effective. Just saying. Right. About 10% of Black people would say that they feel safe truly being open and honest in a corporate space. So, there's other indicators that would say we still have some work to do, right? We still have some work to do. So when I say, hey, I'm doing this work around diversity, equity, and inclusion, but we're really focused on being better together. Start with you. You at this point can only focus on the man or the woman in the mirror. So when I say, hey, this is about the Better Together Empowerment Series, because it's better when we do all of this work together, right? Last week I was talking about wellness a little bit, and I said, hey, I'm going to show up, right? I'm going to show up and I'm going to put my wellness journey on Front Street. That too. It's a lot. So I am putting my wellness journey absolutely on Front Street. And I'm going to invite everyone else who has a wellness journey to join us. I got these wonderful fitness gurus, etc. But we also know that the same foundational principles that are part of the Living Powerfully experience will impact our ability to create systems change. I call it the Living Powerfully experience, and it's with positive intelligence. It's also with something called transformational inclusive leadership. Now, I've been starting with positive intelligence because it's a lot. No, it's a lot. All of it is a lot. And people are like, hey, just keep it simple. Start with the beginning, start with the basics. But I also want people to be clear. This is bigger than it's bigger than me. That's the name of my company, right? It's bigger than me. It's so much bigger than me, but it's also bigger than just you as an individual, right? This is about what can we do starting with you as an individual, and then how do we transition to create a truly inclusive culture? You improve, everyone around you improves, your family improves, your team, right, gets to see the ripple effect. They get to see improvements in their performance, improvements in their well-being, their ability to manage stress, their ability to connect, ability to build relationships. That's what positive intelligence does. So it's really foundational. It's pretty basic. But sometimes you need to have a new grounding, a new expectation about what success looks like. That's what positive intelligence helps to provide, right? Oh, thank you. So what I love about this is that we get to show up for each other. And so if you think about this, I think it's next Monday. We're going to, no, it's actually the Monday after next. We're going to formalize that next 6 weeks of a session and a series for those people who are focused on wellness. We're going to line it up. We're going to just push it out. So next week, we're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like. We're going to go into a number of different topics, specifically asking people to talk about their vision. So I'm going to share a little bit over the next few minutes about my vision for 2024. My vision as an individual, my vision as a professional, my vision in general. And I'm hoping that it will give you an opportunity to pause and think about what you can accomplish in 2024 as well. So stick with us right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. And what you're going to experience here, right here, what you're going to experience is an improvement in your ability to do just about anything. I know it sounds almost like hyperbole, but it's the research that we know talks about the neuroscience of the brain, right? We talked about positive psychology, cognitive behavioral psychology, and performance science. So it's like we know research from all the top universities, domestic and international, science. The science tells the story, right? Not one, 4 scientific disciplines, 4, right? At a minimum. I can talk about adaptive leadership systems. I can bring in a bunch of things. But if we just focus on what positive intelligence allows us to ground on, they call it the root cause for success and happiness, right? We love this so much. It's about how do we show up really with an appetite for truly being successful. It's not a mystery. The thing that everyone's paying thousands of dollars for, right? To consult, to have coaching individually and collectively, I'm giving you the breadcrumbs right here. I can only do so much in 1 hour, but I'm giving you the actual breadcrumbs. And I'm making sure that you understand that it is absolutely in your control. So if you just watch, stay with us and engage online. I love the comments. Yes, I can see them. We'll make it so that you can actually come in for future sessions as well. That's what I really, really want to do. So if you're interested in joining us and our free, it's not really free. I had my coach tell me, stop saying that it's free. I'm a work in progress too. So let me just say this. I won a little baby grant. We won a little baby grant. I applied for a grant as a part of the King County. And it allows me to bring this content into community. I'm going to do it one more time. That allows me to provide a grant. It is not free. I've already paid thousands of dollars to Positive Intelligence because I'm like, hey, this is the thing. This is it. Right. And we're just selecting people that are committed. They can commit to the 6 weeks. It's actually 8 weeks now. So there's a week before, there's a week, I call it week 0, where you got to be really clear what your vision is. So it's not 6 weeks, it's 8 weeks now. All right. Week 0 is vision. It's clarity. It's starting with the end in mind. There's 6 weeks of Positive Intelligence foundations content. And then the last week, which is week 8, I call it kind of the closure of that process, but the beginning of how you can maintain true magic in your life, right? You will have lessons along the way. We're going to be asking you, especially if you get a scholarship, we're going to be asking you to share your story weekly, right? Share your learning, share how it's benefited you. It's guaranteed to work if you work it, right? My little disclaimer is I'm not a doctor, so when I start talking about my wellness and my health, I'm talking about my journey. I'm not giving you advice on your physical wellness. But what I'm saying is if it's a priority, whatever is a priority for you, you simply have to do one thing a week. Excuse me, one thing a day. Sorry, it's not a week. One thing a day. Oh no. That is leading to, contributing to that goal that you say is important. You're also thinking about it at night. You're percolating it in the day, right? You're deciding that this is how I show up. If say you have a bad temper and you're like, I just want to be calmer in 2024. I don't want to yell at my kids. I don't want to yell at my husband. I don't want to, I want to show up at work differently. I want to start this new business. I want to lose 100 pounds. I want to go back to school. I want to, whatever the want tos are, that's what we're going to ask you to continue to focus on. So when you officially start this process, it's going to be about what do you want to accomplish? What is your goal? What is your vision for 2024? So here's my vision. I'm going to be healthier, wealthier, and wiser. Healthier in the sense that I am reducing my weight. I'm showing up with a new level of consistency. I'm using positive intelligence. I've already lost 30 some pounds, partially just through being more aware of what I put in my mouth and when I eat. I'm being very aware. I'm eating slowly. I'm thinking and pausing, breathing. I call it a PQ power prayer. So I bring in the science and the religion, y'all. I needed everything. I needed all the things. That's the beauty of positive intelligence. It is absolutely scientific. It is also spiritually aligned. So if you're spiritual, that's great. If you're not, you still get the benefit of all the science. It's like The Secret, right? The Secret had metaphysics and all the things and all, right? That was part of it. The Secret is about manifestations. It's about believing a thing, right? The law of attraction, that's only a part of it. You still got to do the work. You still got to show up with the consistency. You know, we last week we said decisions determine your destiny. Decisions. And so when we say decisions, we mean the little things that happen every day throughout the day. Like I can decide I want to lose weight, but then also decide when I go out with my girls, right? You know, I'm going to have red velvet cake, which happened to be in this building. You know what I did? I had a bite. It was good. It wasn't great, but I tasted it. I realized sugar has no nutritional value. I'm good. That's a decision that's going to accrue to the longer term goal that I have to lose weight. It didn't harm me. I had a taste. If it was so exceptional, I probably would have had a second. I'm allowing myself three bites. That's the other secret, y'all. That's the other secret. If weight loss is one of your things, right? If starting a business is your thing, you just like I said, you got to do one thing a day that's going to allow you to move that dream forward. Imagine if you did one thing a day, just one step. Not I have to build an entire website today, but I'm going to outline what I want on my website today. Next day, I'm going to do whatever the next thing is. It's plan the work and work the plan. It's literally that simple. Simple things become classic because they stand the test of time. Planning the work and working the plan is really part of the living powerful experience. Finding someone that cares for you, that has a similar goal, that's the better together part, right? Being in a position where you're going to do this work and you're not going to do it alone, and you know that your goal, your work, whatever you're doing can help someone else. That's really part of what motivates me the most. Like when I lose my weight, I'm going to lose my weight for me. This is Traci loving up on Traci. But I also know that so many other people are going to go on this journey. I also know that my journey, my success is going to accrue to the success of others. That gets me super excited. So someone in my positive intelligence crew, they invited me to go speak in Jamaica in July. Well, guess what? That's exciting, right? Another motivating factor, whether I was going to do that or not, I'm already, the work is done. I've already decided. Decisions determine your destiny. So there is no question. I can show up here live on the radio and tell you my numbers kind of vacillated a little bit over the last week or two from a weight perspective. And it's because I probably allowed myself a little bit more. I have to move. I had a little extra things going on in my life. So I'm like, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to get the plan in place and then I'm going to work the plan. So I got to plan the work and work the plan. When I do that, things are just so easy. So we have to take a break and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk specifically about the living powerfully experience and how you can, without a doubt, make this your best, your most successful, and your most powerful year. So stay with us.
Rainier Avenue Radio. Generational wealth. Generational wealth Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
Lots of people who've gotten rich quickly and gotten poor just as quickly and left nothing to their families and or the community. That's a big chunk of the piece that needs to change. We need to see people making their investment in their families and in themselves and in the community. We want to build all three of those elements. We want to establish long-lasting family and community wealth, not just people who've gotten rich and squandered it. Those who have wealth will be opposed to our breaking the status quo. So this will be a struggle. All those folks are used to how things have been for hundreds of years, and that's the piece that needs to change. And they need to be able to stand by.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio World.
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio World. Join your hosts Violetta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Celebrate Black History Month at the Call to Conscience Black History Month Museum, formerly Columbia City Theater, 4916 Rainier Avenue South. Call to Conscience Black History Month Museum features exhibits and installations. It's a guided tour.
Installations include the Seattle Black Panther Party, the Black Heritage Society of Washington, the Rainier Cinema Black Movie Posters Collection, the Hartsfield Family Enslaved Quilt Collection, Revere XR, Negro League Baseball's Seattle Steelheads, NAACP Washington, Alaska, and Oregon, Giselle's Famous Chicken, Nasty Mix Records, Sir Mix-a-Lot, South Seattle Emerald, the Museum of History and Industry, Community Keepsakes and Memorabilia, the Total Experience Gospel Choir and Pat Wright, the Black Prisoners Caucus, a display from the Tacoma Buffalo Soldiers Museum.
Tuesdays through Sundays from 11 a.m. 7 p.m. There will be no other location where you can celebrate the achievements and the achievers of the Pacific Northwest and Seattle while recognizing the Black excellence that shines today. For more information, visit RainierAvenueRadio.world or call 206-290-9685.
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Don't forget to log on www.RainierAvenueRadio.world.
Hey, y'all. This is Dr. Traci Harrell, and you're watching Better Together and Living Powerfully. Now, we were just talking about what you need to do to live your best year yet, to make this your best year yet. I think I've been very clear about the science behind truly changing your life, the neuroscience, the positive psychology, right? The cognitive behavioral psychology and the performance science, right? So everything I'm talking about is proven, it's research-based. I'm not making this up, right? There's a book called Positive Intelligence, and there's a website you can go to called positiveintelligence.com. I'm just saying there's free assets and free resources out there for you. So by all means, you can go look up tons of videos. The author's name is Shirzad Chamine, tons of videos out there. We're going to continue to create a space right here, though, on Rainier Avenue Radio, so that this is definitely connected to who you all are and to who you want to be. Now, I get to share two things today. The second half of the show, I'm going to talk about a book that I'm contributing to. And the book is called The Essence of Girlfriend Relationships. Now, whether it's girlfriend relationships or guy friend relationships, it's really the essence of relationships, right? I think sometimes girlfriend relationships have a very unique perspective, because girlfriends are like, it is definitely better together. Like there's no question. Like typically most girls are like, these girls that I've never been like a girly girl, right? Like I'm a skateboarder, right? I got knees that are skipped up because I used to skateboard, right? I love flowers, so I've always been a flower child, right? But when it comes to relationships, I think the things that is most important, because these are some of the questions I've gotten, just so that you're clear. These are some of the questions that people have said, and we've kind of been doing some online connections. Someone asked me, well, how do you define a friend? And then the concept of time came up. Then the concept of the better together concept came up, and then living powerful, right? So those are the things. This is how I'm going to connect my chapter in the book called The Essence of Girlfriend Relationship. Mine is going to be based on some of the topics that I've had and some of the conversations that I've had with women and men. Like I've known, listen, I guess I could say this out loud. I'm a little special. Like I have always been told that I was more precious than silver and gold. Do you understand that concept? Being a dark-skinned Black girl who was a little nerdy, geeky in school, super smart, like student of the year kind of smart, right? But I was told that I was more precious than silver and gold. I'm not even sure exactly where that came from, but it was divinely also inspired that I get to decide who I hang out with. So I didn't just bond and connect with anybody who wanted to be my friend. I was very friendly, like I'm a very friendly person. But I think the concept of like, I have a very small group of actual girlfriends, right? There's some people that I'm friends now with that I knew since high school. There's a couple people that I've known since like grade school who, when I see them pop up on Facebook, I'm like, oh my God, Michelle. We were ebony and ivory growing up. I'm about to reach out to her. I haven't spoken to her for decades, right? But when I say core friends, these are people that you know I include in my prayers, people that you know influenced you positively. You know, they talk about people being in your life for a reason or a season. Friends can be like that too. It's okay. It's okay if you believe that everything can be turned into a gift or an opportunity, which is the grounding for the living powerfully experience. It's part of positive intelligence, right? It's what they call the sage perspective. That means as it relates to friends as well, we're going to talk about that. So if there are some people, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because as it relates to who your core circle is, you don't have to be around people that drain you. You do not have to spend time with people who drain your energy. 2024, less is more. That actually includes friends, or at least associates. It's okay. It's okay. In 2024, less is more. That's my part of my little mantra for myself, because I typically do a lot for other people. In 2024, less is more. So I want to apply that to your friendships as well, your associations with people. So we're going to talk about truly better together. It ain't better with anybody. It's not better with anybody. I'd rather be alone than be with some negative people that are going to drain my energy, that are going to not help to support my dream or my vision. What do they say? Nobody got time for that. You don't. It is absolutely okay to decide. I think when you talk about girlfriends, boyfriends, talk about friends in general, it is better to decide to only, and hear me, I'm going to say this slow. It is better to decide to limit the people that you're around if they're contributing to you, if they're positively contributing to you. That's one of the things I'm going to ask each of you to think about in 2024. I'm not saying kick people to the curb because they're negative, because just by you being positive, there is something called a ripple effect. But you got to put up your little force field and say, I'm going to be positive. You got to be practiced too. If you're just beginning this, I'm feeling pretty sage. Sage is like when you practice. Like you can do a lot of things to me. There's somebody that I actually helped extensively. They said they didn't have money. I pay every time we went out. You know, I would bring them into people that would make connections and try to help them with their business. And then I heard that they were talking about me negatively. And I'm like, oh, it kind of hurt my feelings. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, that's you. I did my part. I never talked bad about you, even when A, B, or C. I didn't. I did ask a couple questions, like, should I? And I tried to follow up. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? People are going to be who they are. You don't have to. It is okay. You do not have to be friends with everyone. You don't have to follow. And it doesn't need to be any negative energy. When I see you, I'm like, hey, I still wish you the best. Genuinely, I wish you the best. But I don't have to make you part of my inner circle. Right? You guys understand what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? Right? So better together and living powerfully really has a lot to do with the decisions we make. I've said last week, and I'm going to say every week, this is going to be the general thing. Your decisions determine your destiny. So when you decide who you connect with, that's a decision. Hey, I see you. Hi. And keep it moving. You go focus on what you know you need to do for your best year. You're not dragging nobody along. There's somebody also in my life who I love and adore who's brilliant. I feel like, this person who I know, brilliant. He should be making more money than I'm making. He has a desire to do other things. And I'm like, but you're brilliant. Again, let people make their decisions and then you make your decisions. You cannot be worried about other people more than you're worried about yourself. Then you're focused on your goals and your intentions. So better together and living powerfully. Lesson of this week, thinking about your friends, thinking about the essence of your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your guy friends, whatever it may be. The essence of that means define what a friend is. It's someone who pours into you, who you feel good. You don't feel drained. Let me help you with the definition. You don't feel drained after being in that person's presence. You're able to be open if they're like, hey, you know what, you're able to talk. Because there's some people, we're figuring things out. That's okay too. You can talk to people if they're, and then if you try to talk and they're not willing to talk or not willing to bend, then keep it moving, right? If there's something about somebody that kind of irks you the wrong way, it's okay to have those conversations, being honest. Hey, I really like spending time with you. I just wanted to blah, 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 whatever it is, right? But again, I tried to talk to this other person. No problem. We good. I know where you stand. I know where I stand, and I love you. I still love you. It doesn't stop that, but I also know where to keep my tight group of people. The people that I know and I love that I do anything with, anything for. That's what you have to do for yourself. So defining friend, someone who pours into you, someone where you feel rejuvenated, you don't feel drained, you don't feel like they're taking from you all the time. There's a reciprocal relationship, right? A friend is someone that has similar interests, right? You got to be in a position where you are clear. This is someone that I think is more of an asset than a liability, right? That's important. Number 2, time becomes almost irrelevant. A friend is not someone who's like mad at you because you're focusing on your stuff and not all up in, because some people like to, have you just be the sounding board for their little drama and shenanigans. You don't have to be pulled into your friend's drama and shenanigans. Hey, in 2024, less is more. Say the words. No, I got to focus on this thing right here. If your friend is not buy into the fact that you have a goal for your life and you want to be laser focused on that, I love you, but I really need to focus on this. I really got to prioritize this. I have another appointment. Think about it. You're going to have to break some shackles, break the chains. It's okay. You're going to have to decide, right? Time becomes a little bit irrelevant, meaning there are people that I haven't spoken to for months, but when I call them, it's like, hey girl, how you doing? That's a friend. Not where you been. I don't have to explain myself to you. This is about me and Jesus. I need for God to say, well done. The rest of y'all are just watching me show up for the man who created me, right? I don't have to defend myself to anybody else. But that one is bigger than me, right? I'm pointing up. Right? So you got to be really careful. So time, meaning you get to prioritize your time. They're not a time suck. That's important. And then this concept of better together. It would be great, not required, but it'd be great if you have some common goals with your friends, your closest friends, the people that you're connecting with right now in 2024. I'm trying to lose weight. Guess what? When somebody says, hey, I do fitness and wellness, I'm like, oh, this was a divine connection. I need to be talking to you. I'm going to learn something from you. This is part of my goal. So I'm like, ooh, I'm in. Ooh, I'm in. I'm looking for people who know what if you want to learn how to play golf extremely well, you better make some friends to play golf. Are you with me? You want to start a business, you better hang with some entrepreneurs. The people that are at the job clocking the clock. right? They're not going to be your best assets for helping you to accomplish your goal. It's better together. It's better to be aligned. I'm not saying you got to cut people out. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you do have to prioritize your time. You only got 24 hours in a day, right? You got to remember the rest. You got to remember, right? All the things, divine connections. So there are people who've sucked and drained your time. You got to be really careful about that. Time is important. And the better together concept is truly important too. So you do want to surround yourself with people that are aligned with the goals that you want to achieve. I actually just connected with, I was at a friend of mine. I'm part of Girl Trek. And, that's a ultimate better together community. GIRL and then TREK, girltrek.com. Talk about girlfriend relationships, right? These are people who've decided that self-care is a revolutionary act. That's the common thread for over a million women now. That's the common thread. We can all agree. We show up in this royal blue. Girlfriends. They're walkers. They just walk. They've decided that self-care is a revolutionary act. That's a girlfriend. That's beautiful. There's a connection there. Does that make sense? What? The next thing is living powerfully. And you got to stay with me on this one because it's really important. When we talk about better together and living powerfully, where's the notes? My pastor had I go to New Beginnings Christian Fellowship, and my pastor is Reverend Braxton. Lord, he had a subject in it. Last week it was, do you really want to get better? He's leading a series called Get Better. How connected is that? I was like, I need to be connected with him. Get better. I'm leading a Better Together empowerment series and have been for a few years. Focus on the living powerfully experience, and my pastor is leading a whole vision for the year is Get Better. Oh, I'm like, see, God is telling me to connect with that one. You got to be drawn to people that are doing similar work, that are trying to live powerfully too. You know what he told me? He said, I am in a season of my life where I just want to pour into others. Every time he speaks, I'm like, me too. Me too. I just want to pour into others. I want to help others. And I'm like, me too. Get better? Me too, right? So when I think about this, I barely know this man. I mean, I've been going to the church since I moved here, but we haven't bonded. Oh, we about to bond. I'm going to do some interviews with him. I'm going to be bringing him onto the show. We're going to be talking about some of the things he's doing, right? We're aligned. So you want to find people that are aligned with whatever you say you want to accomplish in 2024. Those are the people, whoever they are, that you've known for decades, that may be doing something different than you. It's okay. You'll still be friends with them. Hey, I'll pray for you. Hey, keep it simple. Keep it living it. You got to focus. You got to find some new friends. We're trying to do some new things. So that's why I wanted to pause and really focus on this concept of friends, the essence of girlfriends. I can't wait for that book to come out. Pause. Evaluate. Be honest. Is this person more of an asset or a liability in my life? Am I pouring more into them than they're pouring into my goals? Not in 2024. It's not necessary. You can still love them. Even if someone harmed you, you can still love them. Do you understand what I'm saying, y'all? You just have to be very intentional about the goals that you want to accomplish. I know I'm preaching to somebody. Go ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you. I know I'm preaching. Yes. So when I left Microsoft, I started a ministry called It's All Bigger Than Me Ministry. And now I'm doing It's All Bigger Than Me Consulting. But I can tell you, all I wanted to do was put positive energy into the universe. That's all I wanted to do. Like I was in a position where I could do so. I interviewed amazing people. It was absolutely exceptional for me to decide that this right now is my goal, is to help other people. So all the things I've learned, all the books I've read, all the things, I'm pulling that together in 2024. I'm putting it out for everyone, not just for Black people. It's for everyone. Anyone who wants to get better, we invite you. Anyone who wants to be a part of the Better Together Empowerment Series, basically you get to decide who your little friend group is, who your pod, your cohort, your community is. It's going to support the people that are going to support you to live powerfully, right? We're humans, so we're like tribal. So the concept of living powerfully, it's better together. People are like, why you got both of them logos? You need them both. I do. Sorry. Yes, I do. They're two different things. What we're doing is the Better Together Empowerment Series, right? We've talked about that before. That's the what. How we're doing it is the Living Powerfully experience, right? With positive intelligence and transformational inclusive leadership. So it's two different things. But they're always connected. It's always the concept that we ain't doing. If I'm giving you some information about how to live powerfully and using the science or using something spiritual or whatever it is, I'm also saying, wouldn't it be great? It's so much better if you could also follow these principles and do it with others. So that's really what we're bringing into community, is we're creating a space for you, for your people, your tribe, to go on a journey with us. We actually are in a position to create a space for leaders in community to, without a doubt, improve their performance, improve their well-being, minimize their stress, increase their happiness, all the things. Like, this is absolutely, it's guaranteed to work if you work it. 1 million people have done it, participated in this positive intelligence thing, right? Science, it's all proven. But you still get to have to decide. Decisions determine our destiny. So it's those individual decisions about who you're connecting with, how you're connecting. What I love about my pastor, though, what he wrote, what his message last week was, do you really want to get better? The first week was, where are you? Last week on 128 was, do you really want to get better? Question mark. Week. I know you say you do. I've been saying I wanted to lose weight for a while, but did I really? I didn't want to do the work. No, I do now. Because I realized it's all connected. You can't kind of want to live powerfully. You are either living powerfully or you're not. That's what I didn't understand. I thought I could have a little something on the side. Like, I don't drink much, much. People know I like a little Baileys every now and then. I like a sweet, what is it called? The Bahama Rita at Bahama Breeze, which I like it 3 times a year, right? So I don't drink it. I don't like the taste of alcohol. I hate the smell of beer. Like, I'm not that. It's not my thing. I don't smoke, right? None of those things. It's just not important. My brain is my best asset. I've never done drugs. I don't even like secondhand smoke. None of that. I don't like that. Partially because I know I was put on this earth for divine purpose, for divine impact, for divine contributions. So I don't have time for that. I also know that the people that I associate with, some of them do them things, right? Okay. That doesn't mean I go do those things with them. So I don't want anyone to think that Traci was saying, go cut off all the people that aren't doing the things that you were doing. That's not what I'm saying at all. Not at all. What I am saying is how you spend your time, what you focus on, needs to be very, very intentional in 2024. So you're gonna leave this call and you're gonna focus on your vision. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to accomplish in 2024? You're going to be very clear on that vision. You're going to see yourself walking in it just like it's already done. Are you with me? It's done. You're going to talk about, and we're going to walk through what that looks like. I can help people check the boxes. Yep, I did this, I did that. But you believe that it's yours for the taking. We can talk about your limiting beliefs. There's work we're going to work through. So if you want to be a part of this, email me at Traci@itsallbiggerthanme.com. It's Traci at itsallbiggerthanme.com. Email me and say, I want to be in, and we'll send you a link. We'll have it next week for you to be able to log in and decide how committed are you, right? Because it does take a commitment, and we are paying thousands of dollars for people to participate in the full program. There's also going to be I'm creating a light program as well, because I realize I paid for people that didn't participate in the program. Blew my mind. And life happened. I get it. No problem. But I'm going to be swapping some people in and swapping some people out and making sure I have a much better screening process on who gets in for a free scholarship that's $1,000. I'm not getting in 2023. Let me be clear. I got $0. 2024, I will get paid for my services. It's unacceptable. I have 5 coaches that are like, Traci, what's wrong with you? Why don't you believe your Bible? Oh, no, I just the less I get, the more I can give to other people. No, you're not even setting a good example. So now that I have 5 people tell me that, I feel like at some point I gotta listen. So 2024, I will minimize, but I will absolutely be something. We'll figure it out, right? But in 2023, I got $0 because it wasn't important, right? Right now, I want to make sure I'm able to pay some consultants, some coaches, some speakers. Like I got a whole group lined up for you guys. You're gonna love it. And then we're also reaching out to these corporations who've said, yes, I want an inclusive culture. I do. Great. We're going to help you to get there as well. You say you want to support your employees with professional development. Great. We got you covered on that as well. So if you're a leader who's also interested in improving your life and creating a space for your team to improve, we got you. That's what this is all about. So I kind of started with the end when I talked about that can we all just get along? Trayvon Martin, justice. If you can believe that just you improving your life is going to ultimately lead to that truly systemic change, that's my end goal for 2024. Watch us work it. That's all I got. Watch us work it. Now, I did want to talk before I go. I know there is an amazing exhibit right there at 4916 Rainier Avenue South. It's called the Black History Month Museum Call to Conscience. I went to visit it last week. I was actually there last Monday in studio, and it was so incredible. And it hadn't even officially opened yet. It was so well done. You're going to see so much content. Go ahead and put up the next slide. There's so much content. Oh my God. You can read this, right? There's the Black Panthers. There's any Zelles, 40 years with the Zelles. There's the Negro League, the Negro League for baseball. There's a virtual reality with Revere XR. So there's some really, 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 really amazing content right there at 4916, I believe. Can you put that back up? Yes, 4916 Rainier Avenue. It is going to be incredible. So we are asking you to go check that out. Tony Benton is the proprietor in that location, the Columbia City Theater. It's exceptional. And I think the idea of saying we support each other, we actually pour into each other, that's what this is all about. I'm so excited. I'm just excited to be a part of this community. And what I can say is next up, we have another amazing show. And I don't remember the title of it. There you go, Lid Line Sports, hosted by Pep and O. And I met Pep and O, or Peppo, met him last week. So guys, girls, thank you so much. This is Traci. Stay with us. Remember, this is your life. You get to decide what success looks like. Better together and living powerfully. You got this. See you next week. Bye.